Good morning everyone. We have Physics IGCSE. This is week 1, the 4th session, and we are working through a bit of revision, and we're working through 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 in the textbook. We're just going to talk a little bit about conversion of units, and then we're going to say a few words about density, which some students have difficulty with. Let us start with length. The decimal system, or rather the metric system, measures length in kilometers and in meters and in centimeters. This is decimeters, centimeters and millimeters. And in between the kilometers and the meters is still decameters and hectometers, but you don't have to worry about that. But the important thing is there's a factor of 10 between each of those. When you go this way, a kilometer will be 1,000 meters. Okay? So to get from 1 kilometer to meters, you're going to multiply by 1,000. Make sure that when the units get smaller, the number becomes bigger. Okay? Because you must always, before you do these calculations, you must have the length. You must have an idea how long the length is. Find it on your ruler, find it on a map, or find it in a room, measure it. You have to know how long a meter is and how long a kilometer is. Then you have to imagine the kilometer as a bucket, okay, full of meters. How many meters are in a kilometer? 1,000. So, what you do is, I'm going to take out these two units here because they're seldom used for our purposes. Okay? And so you must remember, if you're converting from kilometers to meters, or from meters to decimeters, or from meters to centimeters, your number is becoming bigger. How many millimeters are in a kilometer? Please work that out for me. Okay, that's your challenge question for today. How many millimeters are in a kilometer? So this way we multiply, and each time, remember there's another two different units here in between which we don't use. So that's why this way you multiply by 1,000. Okay, and each step from there on is 10 times. 10 times. And 10 times. So you just count the tens. From meters to centimeters, you're going to multiply by 10 and by 10 again. 10 times 10 is 100. Okay? From meters to millimeters, you're going to multiply by 10 3 times. That's 1,000. And if you go the other way, you are going to divide. So 1,000 meters divided by, 1,000 meters, you have to divide by 1,000. 1,000 divided by 1,000 is what? 1 kilometer. Okay? The mass works exactly the same. Just the names are different. For mass we have kilograms, then we have grams instead of meters, we have decigrams instead of decimeters, we have centigrams instead of centimeters, and we have milligrams instead of millimeters. Deci means 10, centi means 100, milli means 1,000. Okay? That's just to help you. But we seldom use these two. So we've only got kilograms, grams and milligrams. And in the questions that we're dealing with today, it's mostly just kilograms and grams. Okay? So make sure which units you require. If you get kilograms and you require grams, you multiply by 1,000. Okay, to go that way. If you get grams and you want kilograms, you have to divide by 1,000. And from grams to milligrams is the same. It's multiply by 1,000 and divide by 1,000. Okay. So now let's do a couple of examples based on this. 0.25 kilometers. How many meters is in there? Okay. Must that number get bigger or smaller? Okay. And by what must you multiply it? From kilometers to meters, you multiply by 1,000. So 1,000, you've got to move the decimal point 3 positions, because there's 3 zeros in 1,000. 1, 2, 3. So therefore it is 250 meters. Okay, the decimal point was here and it went 1, 2, 3. That's how you multiply by 1,000. Let's suppose we have 5 meters. Okay. How many kilometers is that? 5 meters. Here's kilometers on this side of the scale. When we go this way, this number is going to become smaller, because 5 meters is the length of the room. To run 5 kilometers is going to take you a while. So 5 meters is quite a small amount. It means we have to divide by 1,000. 5 divided by 1,000, your decimal point is there. Divide by 1,000, 1, 2, 3. Your decimal point is now here, and there's a 0 there and a 0 there. So this is equal to 0.005 kilometers. So if you divide, you just have to move your decimal point. Centimeters. 25 centimeters. How many millimeters is that? Where's millimeters? It's on this side. Is millimeters smaller than centimeters or bigger? How much smaller? This you can quite easily see by just looking at your ruler. If you look at your ruler, you'll see it's marked in centimeters, but each centimeter has 10 divisions. And each division is 1 millimeter. So there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So you've got to multiply by 10. And to multiply 25 by 10, you just add a 0. So it's 250 millimeters. Okay? Very important to be able to do this, because sometimes they give you information which you have to change the units before you can do a calculation. Okay, so let's go to density now. Density, the definition of density, also sometimes called mass density. How heavy something is. How heavy is it? You can't compare how heavy it is if you don't know how big it is, because a big thing is usually heavier than a small thing. So we've got to compare the same size with the same size. Okay? Density is measured in mass per volume. And what are we measuring mass in? Usually, the most common density measurement is grams. And the most common volume measurement is cubic centimeters. Okay? So you've got to be able to calculate, convert your units to that. They very often give you a mass in kilograms. They say that the thing weighs 0.25 kilograms and the volume is 300 cubic centimeters. You can't say 0.25 divided by 300 because kilograms per cubic centimeter is not a good way to express density. We've got to change this kilograms to grams. How do we change kilograms to grams? How many tens are there between kilograms and grams? You multiply by 1,000. So you've got to move the decimal point 3 spaces. This is equal to 250 grams per cubic centimeter. Okay. Per 300 cubic centimeters. You can work that out with your calculator. Let's work it out quickly. It's 250 divided by 300 is 56. 0.83. 0.83. And don't forget your units. Grams per cubic centimeter. You can measure density in kilograms, but then you need to use cubic meters as a volume measurement. And it's much easier to convert your kilograms to grams than to convert your cubic centimeters to cubic meters. And also, these values are not the same. This is going to be a different value. Okay, so let us do another one. 300 grams. Supposing they give you cubic meters. So let's suppose it is 3,000 grams per cubic meter. Now it's going to be easier to convert this to kilograms. How do we convert 3,000 grams to kilograms? We divide by 1,000. 1, 2, 3. So this is then 3 kilograms per cubic meter. Okay. So you can either use kilograms per cubic meter, but grams per cubic centimeter is more commonly used because a cubic meter is quite a big thing. They use that for measuring densities of commodities, mass commodities in trains and huge chunks of wood and things like that. Okay, so give me a call if you have any problems and do all the exercises in the workbook and in the Coursebook which have anything to do with mass, density and volume.